And then I was like, no, you want to see how wide the opening is.
Al, you might want to mute your mic.
And there are a couple of...
Thank you.
And Dan, if you go into that vertical thing down at the bottom of the screen, you can select, your audio options in there under settings.
Well, that ought to do it, I hope.
You're loud and clear now.
5'9".
All right. Glad to have you here. Yeah, thanks again for attending here and presenting on such late notice.
Oh, no problem at all. It's certainly an honor to be here and certainly presenting with a great amateur radio group at the DRC. It's good to be here and got a real nice presentation lined up. So whenever you guys are ready, I can flip it over and got a quick PowerPoint and I can roll through.
Perfect. Sounds good. Yeah, this is about an hour long, just an Elmer Session Q&A. And then we'll have the meeting at 7 p.m. Go from there.
Excellent.
Okay, I guess we have a few people in attendance here. We're streaming over on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club if you want to watch the live stream or recording after the fact. We'll also do the same thing with our meeting. You can view past learning nets and different sessions and all sorts of stuff. So plenty of stuff on there. Yeah, we have just a few people here. I was mentioning to Jeff that our website was down for most of the day. If someone had to try to reach it for most of the day today, unfortunately it was down. So that was due to our host. We're trying to move away from our current hosting solution. So, but unfortunate downtime. But it is back up now, so appreciate that. Plenty of information on there. I can bring some things up. If you all have anything, let me know. We'll go from there. What else? We over on this spreadsheet, w0tx.org/check-in. We use this to take check-ins to our learning nets and different nets. Helps track what we've kind of discussed. If we're not too bad about taking notes, we had some in-person meetings at some restaurants in Lakewood, just small get-togethers. It sounded like there's pretty good opportunities there. And they had one today, it looked like, yeah. So what else? Plenty of stuff. Let me see if I can bring something here. What did we talk about on our Learning Net last month? This is K1DB. Showed a pretty cool video from the South Metro Fire Rescue District in terms of their new vehicles, Battalion Chief 1, and some of their equipment inside of it. Some pretty cool radio setups they had there, and yeah, pretty interesting stuff there. Let me see if I can get that here for audio.
Go responding on channel 2. I also have that on so I can not miss a call, South Metro obviously. And then my upper radio, I always put on whatever law enforcement agency I happen to be. If I'm in Battalion 1, I keep it on DCSO. If I run to Jefferson County, I switch over to Jefferson County. I found over the years by scanning.
Yeah, so it's just a few minutes of that video. It's about a 15-minute video talking about their Fire Fleet Friday Battalion Chief 1, so pretty cool to see that. Let's see. Took a few check-ins. Talked about radios, obviously. Always people asking questions about different... what's the best bang for your buck? And it seems like we're discussing a lot about... not seeing ham shacks in a box anymore, and you might have to piecemeal certain things, and what are different pretty good radios out there and different solutions. We talked about dynamic range, it looks like. I think someone gave a suggestion of an ICOM, pretty high end, but I mean, $1,200, $1,300, but gave a pretty good explanation about. I guess we were also talking about really what are the features and functionalities that you would like to see in modern day radios. That's really kind of what we were talking about. So it seemed like, let's see, what was this website? Gave some pretty good. Sherwing. Let me see. Table.
Yeah, it's a Sherwood site from Sherwood Engineering.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, that's what it was. And they were talking about what was the? Can't remember the exact spec, but just looking at the kind of the top 10, and I think the FTDX10 was a pretty good candidate for operations. So. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else on that? What else? I think we were talking about some maybe Bluetooth or different other functionalities that you might see in some common consumer grade gear. I wonder if anyone else has anything on that. Let's see. There were some comments in the chat. ICOM 710, 7610. Oh, DVI out, monitor out, and Ethernet port on the IC 7610. So it's a pretty cool functionality. Probably use, I guess SDR was a pretty good topic of really how does that help and clear up things like that. So yeah, let me see if I can pull any audio on that real quick. But anyone on that, go right ahead.
I'm on the net. Earlier was the main two that we deal with is super heterodyne.
Well, this is on the SDR part at least.
And which is an older style. The main two that we deal with is super heterodyne, and which is an older style, and then we have software-defined radios, which have become more and more popular. The main reason is that we are now that we have access to microcontrollers and FPGAs and the software that we have. Embedded systems are becoming powerful enough that they can actually do the signal processing to convert it. And ultimately, it's just a different way of taking your RF signal and converting it to your audio frequency. Super heterodyne, you take your signal and then you mix it to bring it to an intermediate frequency, and then take that intermediate frequency and then bring it back down to audio. With a software-defined radio, what you're doing is you're splitting it into two signals, referred to as in phase and the quadrature, so they're 90 degrees out of phase. And by doing that, you can extract pretty much everything, all information about that signal. If you look up W2AEW on YouTube, he has a lot of good resources on how that works. If you want to get into
so
the
that's
potatoes
Jonathan
of that.
KM4 CFT talking there. Pretty cool guy there, local to our club. Let me see what else he had talked about. Oop, I have like 1,000 things open here. Yeah, we talked about obviously going to Ham Radio Outlet. We have a pretty good resource there, and a lot of members of our club are part of that. So Triad equipment there. Let's see what Jonathan said. Let's see, maybe it was this part. We have another 20 or so minutes. No hard stop to the end of the second. The feature for a moment. You can research S3 some 50.
You just lost audio on you, Tor.
Yeah, it's just me talking. I was trying to find when Jonathan. He was, but yeah, there's more throughout the video. So check that out. What else? Yeah, people always asking for recommendations about radios. Yeah, that meeting or that in-person event that happened today. What else? Had a check-in from a traveler from the East Coast. W1CBY. I think he's a pilot and has a lot of interest in radio and whatnot. But yeah, it was first time checking into our net. I think it was just passing through, so it's pretty cool to see. What else? Yeah, a few new check-ins online. People checking in from Canada. I think there were some questions about our repeater, 6-meter repeater. There was a question about that potentially, I think, if there was an issue with it, but I don't think there is. and then we kind of just rounded out the net, really. So that's also K0LAI gave a presentation at the Tech Fest 285 Tech Fest TechNet, or what is it called here? And another member of their club and our club, Mark EHR, put them online, I think. Let me see if I can find him. While I'm looking up that up. Yep, couple of presentations here. Larry gave a presentation on APRS, pretty cool stuff. Oh yeah, they have the videos right here, very cool. Mark has put it on his YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and check that out if you missed that, as well as the other presentations that were given. So pretty cool stuff to see there. Mark also does some pretty cool electronic stuff for Halloween, so I think he may have some videos of the stuff he did this year. Yeah, so amateur radio, Straven Observatory, Nano VNAs, lots of stuff there. So yeah, check that out on your own time. All right, well, I've been blabbing enough here. Let me see if anybody else has dropped in here. Nothing yet, still the same few people. Really do appreciate that. Make sure my audio. Okay. Good evening, Alex. Thanks for joining here. We were just bringing up what we kind of talked about on our LearningNet last week. What else here? Go ahead. If someone else is in there. All right, I think I may not have introduced this meeting too well either, but this is the Elmer Session Q&A about ham radio, electronics, STEM, STEAM, everything. So it's an hour long, and then we'll have our presentation by Dan Grady into SRK right after that, 7 p.m. So good evening to everyone on here. We're streaming on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club if you want to watch it on there. Chatting over on w0tx.or Meet, Google Chat Meet. Wanted to apologize if you were trying to access our website earlier today. It was down for a good portion of the day. It is back up now, though. Yeah, anyone else at the moment? Go right ahead. Let's see if I can bring anything up here. Always a good web page, couple web pages to troll, hackaday.com. Always a lot of great news articles on there. Some related to radio, some not. But let's see what they have on here. Let's see, brief history of weather control. We're dealing with weather quite a bit. Let's see what else here. Flying balloon during a solar eclipse. So let's check that one out here real quick. Balloon to fly during a solar eclipse, written by Brian Cockfield on November 14th. Great American Eclipse was a solar eclipse that passed nearly the entire continental United States in 2017. While it might seem like a once-in-a-lifetime event to experience a solar eclipse, the stars have aligned to bring another one to North America. Slightly different path stretching from the west coast of Mexico and ending off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. Plenty of people near the path of totality have already made plans to view the event. But Stephen, a team of volunteers have done a little bit of extra prep to plan to launch a high-altitude balloon. It's an unmanned balloon. Will primarily be carrying a solar telescope with the required systems on board to stream its images live during the event. The balloon will make its way to the stratosphere. They usually use APRS or some sort of radio for telemetry. Let me see if they planning on do that here, but more info on their website, eclipseplus.ca. Let me step away for just a minute. All right. So pretty cool event there. And can look up balloons, and I'm sure there's plenty of other. Here's one balloon I view via ham radio, written on September 11th. If you've ever thought about launching a high altitude balloon, there's much to consider. One of the things is how do you stream videos down so that you and others can enjoy the fruits of your labor. You'll find advice on that and much more in a recent post by YouTube or user SCD31. At least enjoy the real-time video recorded from that launch. It's recorded with a Raspberry Pi, and it streams feed using 70 centimeters ham radio gear. If you're interested in that sort of thing, including the flight, ground, and ground code is on the internet. Let me see here on their GitLab. So yeah, pretty cool stuff here. Let's see.
You know, Jerome, this reminds me of, there's a guy at the Cornell Ham Radio Club who's been sending his balloons around the world, more or less. I don't think he's ever like fully gone all the way around. But it's this type of high altitude balloons, and then it just like, I guess, pings out, I think it's like 20 meters, a location, and they sort of track it around. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I think I had seen that one too. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. It's it gets up to, I don't even know how many feet, hundreds of thousands, maybe 80,000.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can try to find a link to the map of where the last one went.
Very cool. I thought I had seen it on here, but maybe somewhere else. But yeah, very cool stuff here. All right, well, we bring that up. What else here? We do some, we'll come back to the weather here in a minute. We'll do some window shopping, always fun to do. Attached to this website, hackaday.com, they also run Tindie, Tindie.com. Pretty cool marketplace for buying and selling electronics kits and different things. So, yeah, the Flipper 10 is pretty popular nowadays for RF penetration testing. Crazy stuff here. I think I showed some kits on here once. During the holidays, it's a pretty good time. You can some pretty good soldering kits for youth or anyone else just trying to get some experience with through-hole soldering. Some pretty cheap little kits here with PCBs and LEDs and diodes and a few different things. But it's a pretty good project during the holiday time, and yeah. What else? Yeah, we have another 40 minutes. If anyone else has anything, let me know. Wow, yeah, quite a bit of article on here on history of weather. Let's see what else though. More radio-related website blog to check out. RTL-SDR. I heard someone in there. If anyone had anything, go right ahead.
I'm gonna bail. I'll see you guys when the meeting cranks up.
All right, sounds good. We'll talk to you then.
Bye.
All right. Crazy stuff over on here. Software-defined radios. As we kind of talked about, software-defined radio versus super heterodyne. A lot of potential and a lot of different applications for very, very cheap, really $20, $30 to buy one of these and start playing around with it. So recent article here is one antenna and 4 receivers with an active distributor over on his channel Tech Minds. Oh, Jesus, that was loud. A video where he reviews a $20 active antenna distributor that he purchased on Banggood AliExpress. An active distributor allows you to use one antenna with multiple radios without incurring any distribution losses, which for passive splitters are typically at least 3 dB per split. If it does this by using an amplifier before the split, this is especially useful if you have a wideband antenna like a Discon. Comes with a built-in battery. and can be powered via USB-C. And it has restrictive frequency only covering 10 kilohertz to 300 megahertz. But he gave it a go here.
Will be connected to the version 4 RTL SDR. So let's start connecting and selecting different bands that we can receive on that the SDR covers, but you are limited to what the antenna is tuned to between 100 kilohertz and 300 megahertz. JTX, 3DV, etc. Assuming you have.
So pretty cool stuff on that. I know I have a few of these lying around. It'd be nice to put them to use potentially, but yeah. I can certainly waffle on for quite a while, but I'll throw it out to the group. Anybody has any comments, questions, things they'd like to bring up about projects they're working on? It is a little bit slow time of the year, but maybe there's some gift giving season potentially. If anybody's looking for radios or anything like that, let us know. Perfect. Thank you, Alex. Looking at the. If you want to go ahead and
It took me a while, but I guess they're called pico balloons, is what they've been calling them. And that one went from New York all the way back around to Alaska, and then they lost it.
Yeah, that certainly is pico compared to. I mean, that looks like just a cellophane balloon or whatever. Or whatever that is. Huh. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff there. We haven't really looked too far into this. I know we do plenty of launches here with what's the group here that does that?
I'm trying to think. I can't remember either, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Help with setting up payloads with different students and things like that.
I think that's Edge of Space.
That's
Edge of
right.
Space Science.
That's right.
Thank you. Yeah, I know some of our people in our club help out with that too. So that's really cool stuff there. I know that they have a lot of these reports. I'd love to see some photos. Some follow up. Yeah. These guys, they definitely know what they're doing, and it sounds like they've done a lot of launches, and it's a pretty cool opportunity, learning opportunities for different payloads and things like that. So very cool stuff there. Here's some pictures. Very cool. Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let me see. My bookmarks are not refreshing. Give me just a minute here. Oh, some pretty cool stuff here in Denver. Close all of this stuff here. Let me see if this is what it was. Bear with me, something's not working here. Well, one thing was there was a high performance computing event that's taking place, and they have some radio related stuff. Let me see if I can find that and share that here, because that's definitely up my alley. And they set a record for networking throughput. None of this might make sense at the moment. Let me see if I can bring these here.
That's cool. I read about a little bit about the networking side of it, I guess in like the Colorado Sun or whatever the local news thing it was that covered it. I didn't know they had a radio component though. That's cool.
Yes. At least part of some of their people are definitely radio related. So And I work for a company called Zayo. It's a telecom company, essentially, and they helped to provide 6.7 terabits internet. So this conference, the SC23, for their SciNet. Let's see if I can find I think it was just on Reddit, probably. Like some DMR things, I believe. While I struggled to bring that up, I wonder if anyone else has anything at the moment. Let me know. Well, I'll see if I could find that here in a bit. One other thing I wanted to bring up was there's a new, from the Salvation Army perspective and the Saturn Net, there's some updates. There's always updates, but let me see if I can bring this up. I think a new, it's not going to work.
Have you ever checked into the Saturn Net? I never have.
No, I never have, unfortunately. No. You may recognize the person in the background here. How do I forget his name as soon as I say that? He checks into our net quite a bit. Rich Anderson, W0AKV, that's who that is, in the back right there. And he's been helping us with our field day setups and whatnot. He works with the Salvation Army IT team. And then I believe a new person, Ralph Bergman. This is Ian Anderson as well. We've worked with him in the past for our field day and getting our equipment. So if you've heard his name but not met him, that's who he is. He's taken some higher level director roles at the Salvation Army Intermountain Division there. So he met with Ralph Bergman. Ralph is fully in the Salvation Army family, supporting the Emergency Disaster Services Saturn, and also as an Army bandsman. So I think it was maybe just a casual meeting, but it looks like they had met together as well. So if you've not seen those faces, you'll definitely know some of these names and call signs.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't have much. I can bring up quite a few things, but if anyone else has anything, let me know.
Took notice you guys did pretty well in field day this past year.
Yes. We had a pretty good turnout. I wonder if the field day results are out. I don't actually know. I used to. Are they? Let me see. I guess you would be the person to ask about that. So, let's see. 2023.
Here I can post a link here.
Please go right ahead. Perfect. Thank you.
Ironically enough, I found you guys on page 73. You guys ran 3A, correct?
We did 3 Alpha. Let me see if I can find that here. Here we are, Denver Radio Club. Yeah.
There you are.
I'm guessing maybe the 377 total contacts, probably, and maybe points of 2,026. It looks like.
Nice job.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, we had a great turnout. A new person helping to run it this year, so some fresh minds and a lot more help this year. So this was really awesome to see. Let's see if I can find some.
Nice work. I always laugh about field day when everybody says it's not a contest, but there's rules and there's points. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at Rocky Mountain Ham. Top 10 in 3A.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they did a great job.
I've got to be honest, I don't know much about them. They've got a repeater setup, right? It must be
But
much
they,
more
they
than
have a pretty deep repeater infrastructure,
okay.
primarily on DMR. And they're very, very well networked, not only through Colorado, but into Wyoming and into New Mexico as well. And I think they also have a system in Texas.
Oh, wow.
And extremely well funded.
Yes.
Cool.
Where did you find that top top contesters? Where did you see that?
Oh, so go to page 72 at the bottom. You see where it says, like, it's 3A and it's sorted by score.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And RM Ham's right down there in the bottom of the first column.
Okay. Wow. Very cool.
Yeah. Congratulations to them. Damn.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I think these hopefully are the updated stats. I'm wondering. Yeah, these are some of our stats. It was either this year or last year, so I'll have to verify that. But where are the photos?
You know what's pretty cool is I'm looking through this list, and there are a bunch of Colorado groups here towards the top. Boulder, 6,000 points. Pikes Peak, 5,000. Dan, how did Parker do?
Let me take a look. We were 2A.
Okay.
And let me take a quick look here. We were probably right in the middle of the pack on, let's see if they're up there.
You know what? I remember this. I talked to you right before the contest kicked off.
Yes.
I was portable in Montana.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it looks like we're probably, so as far as 2A is concerned, definitely, probably top 25%, which isn't bad. We had 780 contacts.
Wow. Boy, if they ever did, oh, here you guys are. If they ever did the contest that was like state versus state, I feel like Colorado has some real talent they could throw out there.
Well, I think we have talent and advantage too with the altitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like what was the meeting that was? Presentation it was given a few months ago about Swanland W0WYX, and they put up repeaters early on up on Squaw Mountain, or mountain formerly known as Squaw Mountain, yeah, we got a pretty cool video archive of that. So it seems like it's been a pretty good place for electronics and ham radio operators and all that stuff.
Mesh to hay.
That's right. I think, am I getting this wrong? Wasn't Tesla have some operations down in the Springs, I think, as well?
Telluride is where most of his stuff was.
Okay.
He contracted with, or Westinghouse contracted with him, and he developed his, worked on AC power there quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, probably due to the elevation for sure of our mountains, as we can see.
Well, there was a waterfall there that he was able to use for generation.
Gotcha. I was thinking for RF propagation, it seems like the 14 or peaks really help out quite a bit. Very cool stuff there. Yeah. We were talking about Winter Field Day at some point. There's probably some interest, but we haven't. I don't know if we've done it in the past. But it is definitely a different experience, and it really probably tests your skills, especially here and some of the higher altitudes.
It's a lot of fun, that's for darn sure. You certainly learn something new every year. We've been doing it for 3 years now over in Parker, and we get set up at somebody has a beautiful ranch on, a couple dozen acres, but still being able to operate in those type of conditions and sometimes those temperatures, it's challenging.
Yeah, that would make sense. Jay, K0LJW, thanks for joining here. Let's see, I just realized I think my camera was broken here. Try to get that fixed, but yeah, just a general Q&A. If anyone has anything about ham radio or electronics, go right ahead. Normally on the fourth Wednesdays of the month, so next Wednesday, we normally have our board meeting. I think that got pushed, Jeff, is that correct? If I'm remembering that right? To the week after?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we did. Let me look at the calendar here.
If it did, there's not a problem. There's not much of a problem. Basically, the person who runs our Learning Net on that Wednesday, since I'm unable to, as I'm joining the board meeting, they're unable to take that. I think it's it's just right around Thanksgiving. So if anybody's interested in taking that control, we're more than happy to help you out there.
Yeah, we're doing the board meeting on the 29th.
Perfect. Okay. So it shouldn't be an issue. So if anybody's interested, I'm more than happy to help and guide, and definitely thank Alex and Kevin Schmidt and Jim N0TRP for taking that control operations in the past. It's the spreadsheet, at least for me, has helped quite a bit to basically just put a call sign in, and it automatically fills in pretty much all their information. So
yeah, that's made life a lot easier.
good. Glad to hear. This is available to download if you're signed into a Google account. You can download it and or make a copy of it. So if anybody ever wants to use this for their club or their operations, that is an option. Right now, the only people that can edit this are net control operators. So if anybody knows a good way to allow for self check-ins using this sort of option, I've been trying to think of something. A smooth solution an organic solution that would allow people to type their call sign in somewhere, not interfere with me or others. This is basically an Excel spreadsheet, and it doesn't inherently allow multiple people inside of it. So there's some issues, but yeah.
Hey, Drone.
Yeah. A couple things.
This is Jim.
Hey.
Yeah, just wondered, do you want me to go ahead and take it on the 29th then?
Oh, I didn't even think about that, to be frank with you. Yeah, if you are available that day, yeah, please, thank you.
Yeah, should be able to.
Perfect, thank you, man.
All right.
I was going to say, Google Forms, I use a form for, our drawing that we do here, and, collects it into a Google Sheet.
Yeah, that was an option I was looking into. It just didn't seem, I want to say fast enough, but maybe. Well, also, what it does is it can interact with a spreadsheet. So it can.
They just click a link and,
right.
They just click a link and,
Yeah. What was the issue I had on that one? It was.
Daron, here's a thought for you.
Yeah.
I've seen that some of the HF nets will take early check-ins, and I wonder if the self check-in, at least to launch, that might be a pretty good application of it, because then it could just sort of I don't know if you could, but if it auto-populated into an early check-ins zone in the spreadsheet,
yeah,
and then once everything gets going, you gotta check in, I guess, over the air. I don't know, just a thought.
I kind of was thinking about that. I was thinking about basically maybe opening up the last 50 entries for anyone to put in. But I just want the perfect solution where if I put a call sign in here, nobody else can, and I'm trying to find something. But that is a good option. Maybe start doing with early check-ins potentially. Okay.
I don't know. It's a thought. I mean, frankly, half of the Sunday Night Net is check-ins, and it kind of would be a shame to just like read out a long list of folks, you know.
Yes.
I don't know. So there's other
Yeah.
other thoughts there.
The other bug that does happen, there's a couple things I try to shield from you guys, but basically I have to, once you're done with the net, I copy and paste the information from here to this list and then sort this list by the date and time, and then it puts all the new ones at the top. One issue, though, really is anyone can basically... The reason I do that, or the issue is basically this time that checks, or the check-in time essentially, if the sheet is closed out for a while and then anyone anonymously logs into it, or anyone, all of those times update. So that's why if you've looked back on some of these, like last Sunday or the Sunday before the 5th, it got rid of all the times. So I had to, in order to be able to sort it by the date and then the newest, it's all sorts of things. But yeah, there's a few bugs, but it works quite well, I think, for what it is. So 20 minutes left. Anyone else been talking about ham radio operations? We got Dan Grady here, N2SRK, going to give us a presentation here in a little bit. Talked about Field Day a little bit. Talked about some of the things we talked about in our last Learning Net. As always, what to buy, what radios, suggestions, things like that. What else? A couple people joining here, appreciate that. If anyone else has anything, another 20 minutes for the DRC Elmers session here. Yeah.
Hey, Daron?
Yeah, April, go ahead.
Hey, as the Hamfest manager for next summer, I'm still looking for a few volunteers to help me out with food and a few other details. I'm going to try and get a blurb and a flyer into the next newsletter. But if anybody knows of any way we can do the food for the Hamfest, and please let me know, because it was done the last 2 years by Jerry's daughter and boyfriend, and yeah, that's the old form. I'll get the new one out here soon. Yep. But we need replacements or someone to do the food. And someone said, well, you could have it catered, but I'd like to find a way to save costs. So
understood. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Just want to fix something here. Yeah, anything that we can do to help. And yeah, thank you so much for helping to take that. And because that is a big event and there's a lot to plan there. So
yeah, and Kathy's kind of tired of doing it, I guess.
And she's major burned out on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, absolutely. Okay, yeah, hopefully we'll start to talk about that through our city nets and our meetings and try to garner some more attention to getting you help there for sure, and helping for serving food and things like that. Absolutely. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Anyone else so far? A few people have joined here. Appreciate that. Another 15 minutes or so, and then we'll hand it over to the club president to give any club business, and then we'll do the meeting here. We don't talk about some of the... I don't like talking about our website in general because of it's a development heck. But w0tx.org, right on our front page on the bottom, recent ads for sale. So Trading Post, you can submit your own for sale or wanted equipment. So we have some 91 Unun and line isolator choke here. No photos, but you can contact Jim, K0FNR. Random wire, isolator choke for random wire, Palomar's engineer. So you can contact him there. We have a VibroKey standard single lever paddle. $75 there. Jim as well, K0FNR. So if you're looking to get into to King, it's a pretty good opportunity there. A Linko DX10 from an estate sale, price of $400. So this is a sort of transceivers, just HF, VHF, probably still pretty good. So yeah, get in contact with them. HF plus 50 megahertz, it looks like. And a large radio antenna, it looks like maybe dismantled. Oh, here's some photos of it here. $1,000. Contact Terra Tsu. Purchase this property with an antenna, and they'd like to have it removed. Yeah, you can check that out if you even know what that is or what it can do. There are some hams that will basically allow you to take away some of this equipment for free if you do the labor, but not in this case. It doesn't look like. What else? Very bottom of our page, ham radio crosswords. If you've looked at our newsletter, there's been some crosswords in there. Those have been digitized a little while ago. These were originally by W2PA Chris Codella. So if you're interested in fairly difficult crosswords, some pretty cool opportunities there. All right. Let's see. We had a recent tech committee meeting. Let me see if I can bring up anything on that here. Repeaters are in good usage. We have a ICOM 7330 repeater controller that we're in the process of upgrading. I'm trying to find the notes here. We talked about our website. We're trying to migrate off of our current platform to a new platform. We're trying to get a membership set up so that you can manage your own membership through our website instead of having, again, on the shoulders of Kathy Vilhauer, who's doing that by hand. So let me see if I can find that. There wasn't much more, I don't think. Everyone is welcome to these. We don't advertise these very well. But if you're ever wanting to sit in, listen in, again, we just talk about our repeaters and some of the tech stuff. We had Brennan Pate as well. He runs our roundtable newsletter, puts together that. So and he's also helping stuff with our website as well. Also had Pete Sovansky, Mark Thomas, and Robert Pickett in attendance, helping out with different things there. If you're going to be attending our holiday meeting, hopefully there'll be a video roundup of our activities. There was a complaint on the last Wednesday night Learning Net about the 6-meter repeater. Idents aren't on top of the hour exactly. They've drifted out of time just a little bit. So if anybody ever has any issues with our repeaters, don't hesitate to bring it up either during the Learning Net or somewhere else, and we can certainly look into it. That's all that we really talked about. And these are the third Wednesdays. It's November 9th, second Wednesday of the month. So, yeah. What else? We have 10 minutes. Appreciate everyone joining here. If anyone has anything else, let us know. Let's see if I can bring up arl.org/news. Don't look at that too often enough anymore, unfortunately. A good place of news. Solar updates. Here's some interesting article. Hails FCC action to remove similar rate restrictions. So the ARL reports that earlier today, the FCC commissioners individually voted to amend the amateur radio service rules to replace the baud rate limit on HF bands with a 2.8 kilohertz bandwidth limit to permit greater flexibility in data communications. Probably one of the others. Okay.
It's been a long while coming.
Okay. So what is this really? How does this play out really for us? I guess it's just bigger bandwidth, faster processing of communications.
Well, and that's it's just more or less taking the, what was the bandwidth restrictions and bringing them up to modern times. You've probably noticed anytime there's a natural disaster or a hurricane or something like that, there's always a application for a temporary order to be put in, which is always passed. But this just opens it up to what is current modern technology.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I know Aries uses WinLink and whatnot, and there's some serial speeds. There's certain speeds that those can really run at, and those are probably limited by things like this. So it's good that they can process those messages quicker. So that's always good. And more data, probably instead of just text. It might be more video and audio and.
It's much more efficient. Absolutely, it is, and yeah, just as you highlighted, when it comes to particularly MCOM communications, we know that timing is of an essence when it comes to the information and how fast it gets sent. So that this is actually a really good step forward.
Excellent. Glad to hear. Yeah, we don't want to have to, on top of in an emergency situation, put in temporary rules and things like that. We just want to get the job done and get lives saved and get communications out. Very cool. Okay, yeah, very cool stuff there. What else? First worked all state certificate awarded for 33 centimeter band. Interesting band. 900 megahertz, 928 megahertz. Oh, okay. That sounds similar to the ISM band. Let's see. Worked all states, though. Awarded to Peter Van Horn, KA6U, for extremely for his Earth Moon Earth efforts. He was able to work Wisconsin from last state on 33 centimeter bands on 21st of October. And in September, sitting at the 32 states, confirmed with cards and logbook on the world. He went on a 25-state expedition, providing the last 18 states. So really cool group effort there, it looks like. Very cool.
His setup was pretty amazing. 5-meter dish with 400 watts of output. Look at that thing.
That is an extremely large dish. How many watts did you say? It probably says here.
400.
Wow. Oh, yeah, here we go. 5-meter dish, 400 watts power. Wow. Jeez. That's some equipment right there.
Probably put a hot dog while you operate it.
Yeah. Very cool stuff there. All right. We're nearing the end. Have another few minutes here. Anyone else? We have plenty of a few more minutes to talk. If anybody has any thing they'd like to talk about, amateur radio related. I'd like to this video here in this presentation. If not us, then who? On the ARL HQ YouTube. I've been putting out a lot more stuff here. Really do appreciate seeing that stuff here. Pretty cool presentation here by Steve Goodgame, K5ATA, keynote speech at 2023 Pacific Division Ham Radio Convention, Pacificon. Steve's passion and vision for promoting youth involvement in the hobby shines in his speech, and as he discusses STEM education and the importance of inspiring youth and teachers to engage in amateur radio and wireless technology. Very cool stuff. See if I can play them.
Yep.
Go ahead.
There are very few to amateur radio. There are, however, multitudes of jobs and careers related to radio and wireless technology. As we approach schools to include amateur radio as a part of their STEM curriculums, we absolutely must relate those to career pathways and learning opportunities for students. Make no mistake, we must approach schools. They aren't coming to us. Amateur radio must be presented as a pathway to future.
Moment of that. Make sure I'm not keeping you up there. Yeah, so very cool stuff here on that.
Hey, Jerome?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got two questions. The first one is just kind of a general question for thought. But in the latest issue of QST, there was an article there about a club in Virginia that put together some battery packs using lithium phosphate or lithium iron phosphate batteries and stuff like that. And I just wondered if, in making those, they weren't cheap. They said, the parts were about $700, but they were. But one of the things is I wondered if that might be an interesting spring project for a DRC Saturday when the weather's lousy. Is maybe look into building one or two that could be used at something like field day or other emergency uses.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to look up that article there. Was it, if you have access to the online version. Yeah.
It's in the November one.
Yeah. Yep. I forget that they do that. It's pretty cool. And it was portable or something about radios. Oh, build a lithium ion. Okay.
Yeah. But I thought it was a pretty interesting project, and something like that could be useful for emergency operations, especially if you're having troubles with a generator or it craps out or something like that. And I know there might be somebody out there who sits with the people who come up with the DRC Saturdays, but maybe learning how to build a couple of those that we could use, that might be an interesting little project.
Yeah, I don't know if Alex Serra's there, but he definitely brought out something very similar to this to a DRC Saturday event.
Mm-hmm.
He had built himself.
Is this sorry, this is like a lithium iron phosphate battery bank?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I'll tell you, I got that idea from someone in the Parker Radio Club who had posted his build on their forum.
Mm-hmm.
We could absolutely do that. We would need a little bit of lead time to get our cells shipped over from China if that's the direction we wanted to go.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool idea, and I think it's something we absolutely have the capability to do.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Well, I just thought that was food for thought, and maybe somebody out there. I went online and tried to see if they have a video that I haven't watched, but I'd like to see a parts list, and maybe I just need to email the guy and ask him for one, because I'd be interested in having one for my house. Although $700 is, well, it's cheaper than a generator. But anyway, that was the other question I have is I tried participating in the DX contest several weeks ago, and I gave up in disgust because I kept getting overpowered by people who seem to be transmitting way beyond the 100 watts I have on my radio. Does anybody have any suggestions other than don't try to compete with those people as to how to make contacts when you got all these knuckleheads who have 1,500 watts of power and don't care that they're swamping out other people?
Patience.
That I had for a while. I've had another suggestion: join the dark side and get a amplifier.
If you can't beat them, join them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's certain tricks in FT8 at least, and probably in voice as well, to call in certain ways. Or I've heard tips and tricks, but I have not through osmosis remembered them. But I think there are some ways that you can still get your voice out there and heard, even if it's in the break. I don't know, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good questions, though. Yeah, I don't know.
Camp out on a frequency and call CQ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I there was one guy out there from Hawaii, and I could hear him clearly, but he couldn't hear me at all, which suggests I may need more power.
We had a couple comments on YouTube I missed earlier on. I do appreciate that. Thanks, Micah, for joining here. We had Joel for Field Day, or for Hamfest, saying, have every member prepare one entree and bring it to Hamfest, maybe. Could try that. Appreciate that. And did they say he took it mobile? Yeah, there was some other thing here. But if you're on YouTube, mostly we do our chatting on w0tx.org/meet, the Google Meet. So I do apologize if I missed that. It is 7 p.m. Definitely appreciate everyone who's joined here so far. My name is Daron, call signs K1DBC. This has been the Elmer Session, just a great place, Q&A for ham radio. Again, youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. We stream and archive our nets and meetings on there, so if you ever want to check things out on that. So with that, I'll throw to their club president or anyone else who wants to cover club business. Let's see. Kevin's there, or anyone on that? Otherwise, I can very quickly cover some club business. Upcoming holiday party, December 20th. Prepaid reservations only by check. We do apologize about that, but keeping down costs as well. Let me just share my screen once more. W0tx.org. If you were trying to access our webpage today, it was down for 7 hours. We do apologize about that. We're trying to mitigate that in the future. Holiday party reservation form and meeting flyer on there. It's at Rocky Mountain Metropolitan Airport in Broomfield. So we'd love to see you out there. And there'll be our food and a presentation as well. So yeah, this evening's meeting, again, Dan Grady and to SRK. Glad to have him here. And I don't think I had anything else. Anyone else wanted to cover any club business? Always more information on our website, our social media, nets and repeaters, events, things like that. Jeff, if you have anything, go ahead.
Yeah, just watch for the door prize drawing link. I'll drop in towards the end of the meeting. Members are welcome to enter the door prize.
Perfect. All right. Well, that Dan, if you like, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, certainly appreciate it, and I want to thank you guys for the invite. Always an honor to be out with the clubs.